Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It's so good to be back in Austin, Texas. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Representatives John Busey and Cheryl Cole. Thank you to our next governor, Gina Hinojosa. Thank you to the volunteers in the vests who made this event possible. Thank you to all of you for showing up here on very short notice. Tonight is a very special night. One, I want to wish those who celebrate a happy first night of Ramadan and a happy Lunar New Year. It was mentioned that my parents are here, my mom and my dad. I want to wish them a very happy anniversary, wherever they are. And on this very special night, we are launching our Take Back Texas tour. We are hitting the road. We're hitting the road. We're going everywhere. We're talking to everyone. We're not writing off any voter. We're not writing off any community, because that is how we're going to win this state in November. And the 24 hours before this tour launch has been something else. Last night, I filmed an interview with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show. And as you probably know by now, Trump's FCC colluded with corporate media executives at CBS to keep that interview off the air. But I think it's safe to say that their plan backfired. I think Donald Trump and his billionaire friends know that we're about to take back Texas. And these are the same people who ran against cancel culture. And now they're trying to control what we watch, what we say, what we read. And this is the most dangerous kind of cancel culture, the kind that comes from the top. They went after The View after I went on there. They went after Jimmy Kimmel for telling a joke they didn't like. They went after Stephen Colbert for telling the truth about Paramount's bribe to Donald Trump. Corporate media executives are selling out the First Amendment to curry favor with corrupt politicians. A threat to any of our First Amendment rights is a threat to all of our First Amendment rights. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whether you're conservative or progressive, the real fight in this country is not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. We launched this grassroots campaign for the U.S. Senate 5 months ago in my hometown of Round Rock, Texas. And since then, hey, some love for Round Rock. And since then, we have had thousands of Texans showing up to rally with us in every corner of this state, from Beaumont to El Paso, from Amarillo to Brownsville, and everywhere in between. And I can't tell you how many people come up to me at the end of these events and whisper, "I'm not a Democrat," like it's some kind of secret. We have recruited more than 22,000 volunteers who are doing the organizing work across this state to win in November. And we have shattered grassroots fundraising records without taking a dime from corporate PACs. This is a people-powered movement to take on this broken, corrupt political system. This is truly a campaign of, by, and for the people. We are bringing people together not just to win an election, but to fundamentally change our politics. Our country is so divided that we can't even share the Super Bowl anymore. 2 different halftime shows for 2 different Americas in 2 different realities. Bad Bunny, one of my favorite artists, put on one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows of all time. And then, and then, and then I saw Kid Rock, someone I grew up listening to. I saw that he put on a counter concert, which I didn't even know that was a thing. What compels people to protest that beautiful halftime show? I think it's fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fears that we all struggle with. But there was nothing to be afraid of in that halftime show. Just joy and unity and love. Because in the words of Scripture, love casts out fear. Or in the words of Bad Bunny, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. That word love is maybe the most important word in the English language. It's certainly the most important word in all of our lives. And yet, we rarely hear it spoken in our politics. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas, and he told me when I was real little that we're supposed to follow Jesus' 2 commandments, to love God and love neighbor. Jesus could have told us to love our immediate family members or our close friends. Those would have been easier commandments to follow. But he told us to love our neighbors, and that's inherently a public thing. It's what led me to public service, first as a public school teacher on the west side of San Antonio, and now as a public official. 8 years ago, I launched my very first campaign for the Texas House back home in Williamson County. And back then, I was told the race was unwinnable. I was told flipping a Trump district was impossible. I was told I was too young. I was told I didn't have the money or the connections to win. I was the underdog in that race. But my neighbors and I, many of whom are here in the room, we ran an aggressive, authentic, unorthodox campaign that brought people together. And on election night, we flipped that district with 51% of the vote. And as a legislator, I have passed major bills to lower the cost of housing, lower the cost of childcare, lower the cost of prescription drugs, including insulin. I am trying to love my neighbors through public policy. I'm trying to make my neighbor's life a little easier and a little better. But that kind of love in our politics is getting harder and harder to find. The reason our politics sucks right now, it's not any one politician. It is the system itself. Think about who was sitting behind the President of the United States on Inauguration Day. Think about who owns the 24-hour corporate media that treats news as entertainment. Think about who owns the social media algorithms that keep us angry and divided. A handful of billionaires have redesigned our politics for their own profit. Us versus them, trolling, owning, name-calling, winning at all costs. It's professional wrestling. And I like professional wrestling, but not in my politics. We all keep watching, we all keep scrolling, we all keep fighting, and they keep getting rich off of it. They divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so we don't notice that they are picking our pockets, that they are closing our public schools, they are gutting our healthcare. They're raising taxes on all of us while they cut taxes for themselves. They have literally transformed how we talk to one another, how we learn about the world. It's the reason you and your MAGA uncle, who you used to get along with just fine, you both now live in completely separate realities. Politics shouldn't feel this way. Politics is just another word for how we treat our neighbors, and we should treat each other a lot better than this. We can We can transform this broken, corrupt political system. They may have the money, but we have the majority. But it will require us coming together across all these manufactured divisions. Fight the system, not your neighbor. There is something deeply broken in America. Our political system is broken. Our economic system is broken. Even our relationships with each other feel broken. And that's because the most powerful people in the world want it that way. I mentioned that my faith teaches me to love my neighbor as myself. Not just my neighbor who looks like me. Not just my neighbor who prays like me. Not just my neighbor who votes like me. I am called to love all of my neighbors the way I love myself. And that's because despite our many differences, despite our many disagreements, we all want the same things. A safe neighborhood, a good job with good benefits, a high-quality, well-funded public school, and the ability to see a doctor when we need one. I am so tired of being pitted against my neighbor. I am so tired of being told to hate my neighbor. It's been more than 10 years of this kind of politics. Politics as blood sport. Politics as total war. It tears families apart, it ends friendships, and it leaves us all feeling terrible all the time. As I travel this state, I get the sense that across the political spectrum, there is a deep hunger for a different kind of politics. Not a politics of hate, not a politics of fear, not a politics of division, but a politics of love. A love for the state, a love for this country, and a love for all of our neighbors. A love that can heal what's broken in America. When I was in Laredo, Texas, my mom's hometown, just a few days ago, and a man stood up and asked me a question. He said, "Isn't love too weak for this moment?" And I thanked him for asking that question because I think some of us have the same thought sometimes. I told him that in my faith, love is the strongest force in the universe. Love is not passive. Love is not neutral. Love is not weak. Love sometimes requires that we stand between the bullies and the bullied. Love sometimes requires that we look evil in the eye and not blink. Love sometimes requires that we flip over the tables of injustice. That kind of love has always been a threat to the powers that be. That kind of love is revolutionary. That kind of love is radical. That kind of love is creative. Hate is boring. Hate is predictable. Hate can't lower our energy bills. Hate can't teach a child how to read. Hate can't build a future. But what hate can't do, love can. Love can turn a student into a scholar. Love can turn an enemy into a friend. Love can turn a campaign into a movement. We will not defeat the politics of division with more division. We can't win that game. We have to change the game. This campaign is rooted in a fierce, aggressive love for this state, for this country, for our neighbors. And in my experience, when you extend an open hand rather than a closed fist, you'll be surprised by who takes that hand. If you hate politics and you've never voted before, you have a place in this campaign. If you have voted for Democrats, but you're tired of DC Democrats always folding, you have a place in this campaign. And if you voted for Donald Trump, but you are fed up with the extremism and the corruption in our government, you have a place in this campaign. A new kind of politics is possible. It's waiting to be born through all of us. And a movement that radiates that kind of love is unstoppable. And it will win. And we have a moral imperative to win. As we speak, we are seeing the consequences of losing elections all over this country. We have a secret police force terrorizing our neighbors here in Texas and across America. ICE shot a mother in the face. ICE kidnapped a 5-year-old boy. ICE executed a man in broad daylight on our streets before our very eyes. It is time to tear down this secret police force and replace it with an agency that is actually going to focus on public safety for all of us. It is past time. It is past time to impeach Secretary Kristi Noem. It is past time to prosecute agents who have abused their power. And when we win a Senate majority, we will haul these masked men before Congress so the world can see their faces. These masked men are waiting in school pickup lines. They are lurking in hospital waiting rooms. This is not law enforcement. This is something else. They say it's about law and order, but they're waiting outside courthouses, arresting people who are following the law and showing up for their immigration hearings. They say it's about the economy, but they're deporting the very people who keep our economy running. They say it's about illegal immigration, but now they're going after American citizens. This has never been about immigration. This has always been about control. The best way to control a population is to keep people afraid. Keep them looking over their shoulder, keep them in line. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't criticize the state. Don't speak your mind, otherwise you'll be disappeared or even killed. No more secret police. No more masked men. No more disappearing people. This is the United States of America. We're not supposed to fear our government. Our government is supposed to fear us. Y'all know that in addition to my public work as a public official and as a candidate for office, but you may not know that I'm currently a student in seminary, studying to become a minister like my granddad one day. So I know we've covered in this program some heavy topics, and I know things are dark right now, so I thought I would leave you with just a little bit of pastoral care. There is a lyric from a great American songwriter that I've been thinking about. John Prine wrote, "I really love America. I just don't know how to get there anymore." That's enough to break your heart. And when I'm feeling this way, there's a verse of scripture that I return to. And I hope it can be a gift to you, whether you're religious or not. It's in the Gospel of Luke when Jesus says something really strange. He says, "Blessed are you who weep." And that's a strange thing to say, because how can someone who's weeping be considered blessed? In our culture, we tend to avoid grief. But I think we forget that grief can be fertile soil. Sometimes we see the world most clearly through our tears. If your heart is breaking right now, as you watch what's happening to our beloved country, it means you still have a heart. I want you to trust that. I want you to protect that, because that is what's going to get us out of all this. There has never been a more important time to be a human being. Resistance starts right here, by refusing to mirror the hate and the violence and the inhumanity that surrounds all of us. In a time of shadows, we must shine our light. The fact that all of you showed up here speaks volumes. Like many of you, I'm tempted by hopelessness. But then I look out on this crowd, and suddenly I feel a little bit of hope again. And a little bit of hope is a dangerous thing. The fact that you're all here, it means you haven't given in to hopelessness. And that means the bullies haven't won yet. Action is the antidote to despair. You can't wring your hands when you're rolling up your sleeves. We have a lot of work to do, Austin, but together we will win this election. We will take back our state, and we will take back our country. Because in the words of Bad Bunny, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Thank y'all for being here. God bless you. Thank you for being in this fight. Let's go win this thing. Thank you.